All of them at the luncheon said that Tesla will underperform in the next 6 months, and almost all of them said over the next 12 months. So
best Model 3 we've ever had.
We took out what I call like the baby fat out of the front end.
In a few years, we went from 0 to 16% of EV mix in Europe.
We see definitely a customer group that is quite loyal to Tesla.
Yeah. All that and more, so let's get to it. Tesla stock is up in the pre-market almost 1%, sitting at 190.35. There was an opportunity for me to cash in that contract of this 190 put. Surprise, surprise, I missed that opportunity, and I'm afraid that train may have left the station. Elon Musk boosts stake in Tesla to 20.5%.
Tesla in focus today after big money institutional investors appear to be turning bearish, with some believing the stock will underperform over the next 6 months. That's the takeaway from an informal poll by Morgan Stanley. Important to note that analyst Adam Jonas does not agree with the sentiment, remaining overweight on shares, but he does see some roadblocks ahead.
I find it odd that many of these analysts are turning bearish on Tesla, while Elon Musk is doubling down, almost bulldozing his way into more shares. It's almost as if they don't know what's coming right around the corner.
Adam Jonas, typically a big Tesla bull. What are the concerns here?
Well, they hold these institutional lunches, right, with their big shareholders every now and then. In this case, it's Tesla shareholders. And it turns out that the big headline here is, like you mentioned there, all of them at the luncheon said that Tesla will underperform in the next 6 months, and almost all of them said over the next 12 months. So they're kind of concerned that, these guys own a lot of shares, but they're concerned that the actual share itself will kind of stay where it's at through the next year. Why is that? So there's a few kind of concerns here. Number one, obviously, Musk sidelining AI growth, with his tweets about wanting to control the company, otherwise he wants to take AI out of Tesla.
Well, that's obviously a red herring if I've ever heard of one. The Techno King now has a 20.5 stake in his company. Something tells me he's not done yet.
That's sort of a big driver for potential future earnings for the company down the line. Also, volume growth. There's concern that Tesla may not grow their volumes, and potentially even have negative growth with volumes. And in just this past quarter, they had about 35% growth year over year. So the concern is that we're going to have some issues with not just the AI stuff, but also the fact that the company may not grow as much too.
I'm in the middle of calculating my 2024 fair value estimates, and my bear case is going to be very, very bearish indeed. But I'm still confident my bear case is going to be much, much higher than many people's base or bull cases. Much like Adam Jonas, I have an outperform rating on TSLA.
And this is all coming for us too, as we hear about they're upping some pricing on some Tesla vehicles, right?
Yeah, for the Model 3, the new upgraded Model 3, going to see a price hike here of $1,500, which is actually, kind of surprising, given the fact that we've seen so many price cuts in the past, notably starting in January.
Is it though?
The sense of encapsulation, the unification of materials, the up level of premiumness.
Best Model 3 we've ever had.
We took out what I call like the baby fat out of the front end. Slimmer headlights, the puffy cheeks are gone, the full volume in the hood, with the shoulders, the waist, really slippery silhouette. Felt like a refined athlete.
We really tried to improve the side impact of the vehicle by creating a stiffer and stronger door structure. We reinforced the hinges here, we reinforced the door latch and striker here, and then we added a catch here at the bottom of the door. And what we do here is we catch the door in 3 places to really resist that impact.
One of my favorite things about the rear end of the car is the taillights and how we were able to incorporate them into the deck lid. The lights are out wide, gives it a really wide stance and character. Now we don't have any split lines when the lights are lit. Diffuser's a little bit bigger. Really just cleans up all the lines and the character of the rear end, and the taillight goes with the tailgate.
We have a couple of exciting new colors. We call it Ultra Red, very high chroma. This is another new color, Stealth Gray.
As soon as you sit in the car and you close the door, you will immediately notice how quiet it is inside the car.
One of the other features that's really cool on the front of the car for wind noise is this little ramp on the edge of the hood. It takes the air that's coming over the top and deflects it over the windscreen, so you have a much quieter experience at high speed and even at low speed.
And then you'll also notice that when you try and make a phone call from the vehicle, there's less background noise, there's better voice isolation. One area that we really focused on was the interior of the Model 3. It's this really beautiful wraparound feel.
You will notice how simple everything is designed. We have this LED light coming through all the way from the center of the IP connected to the door.
So right now we have pink, we have a very light blue, I can even do green. The lighting continues on the rear seats.
The screen is being the hero of the car, so now the kiddies have a place to interact as well.
With the addition of the display in the second row, passengers can now control climate. I can adjust the fan up and down, can adjust their seat heaters, and here's a feature that I'm particularly fond of. They can even give themselves a little more legroom in the back.
We always want to maximize customer happiness. One of the biggest features we've been asked for is ventilated front seats, and we put that in the new Model 3.
We have this wing that's over the top.
It's a very unique textile that we have designed.
We have the improved steering wheel with haptic interface controls.
With speakers that are placed optimally all around you.
It really feels like a new car. The handling of the car is improved, the overall performance is improved.
You just have to experience it yourself.
Oh my God, I didn't expect it to be this good. I have a soft spot for the Model 3. It's because it is what brought me in to the Tesla family. Seeing these upgrades, oh my word. But no, I'm going to remain steadfast. The Cybertruck is the goal, right?
But this is a new model. There might be more demand for it. It's better suspension, better interior components, just a better car overall. So I'm not surprised they might be seeing some lift here, but you're noting that right here, that right now with that price hike, it's going to be the same price as the RWD Model Y, which is very interesting because that's their big volume mover. So interesting to see that the Model 3, which has historically been much cheaper than the Model Y, now almost reaching that price parity there.
I wonder why that may be. Is it because the demand for this vehicle is soaring on the website? I mean, it's almost as if I've been saying there's an inverse relationship with demand and the pricing. Should production of the vehicle exceed that of which they have demand for from the website, the prices will come down until that demand is met. It's not a question of margin. It's a question of how do we keep these wait times from blowing out?
Again, we have seen concerns about demand for electric car vehicles actually slowing. How much do you expect that to slow down by?
Look, I think that if you look at the thing long term, EV will be a dominant technology in Europe, also because of regulation, especially CAFE regulation that people tend to, forget, where you need to achieve a very low level of average fleet consumption. So we might have some bumps on the roads as we are experiencing right now, but long term, this will fly. That's for sure.
But is there anything actually that would help move the needle to try and reignite demand in the shorter term?
Look, I think it depends on I think one of the things we are doing this year is that we're introducing new cars. Normally, product offer always helps, especially because we are bringing a small car next generation EV platform. So these are cars that are much more affordable than what we've seen so far. So normally it should boost volume, at least in our case. So we think we're going to be, even in complicated times, relatively anti-cyclical from this respect. So, and then we will have to see how different governments are subsidizing. We see, for example, Germany that pulled off the thing, but on the other side, other countries are like Italy or France are investing into the thing. So all in all, I believe that we will continue to grow. In fact, in a few years, we went from 0 to 16% of EV mix in Europe. No technology has done that before in the history of automotive so fast. So we shouldn't only look at the outside of the dark side of the thing.
RENAULT CEO, you can't really say it any better. Don't get it twisted. EVs are the future. There may be some bumps along the way, but this technology has grown so fast, we haven't seen the likes of it in the automobile industry. But one thing he failed to add is we ain't seen nothing yet.
Citi trimming its EV forecast for this year. Barclays downgrading Rivian to equal weight on signs of demand pressure. And Morgan's Adam Jonas now says it's fashionable to be an EV bear. But your next guest hopes to ease some of the customer concerns about EVs. His company is called Finn, F-I-N-N, and it offers short-term subscriptions, 6-month to 18-month, to both traditional and electric cars. Of their 25,000 global subscribers, around 40% have opted for EVs. Maximilian Veres, co-founder and CEO of Finn, which is headquartered in Munich, but is growing here in the United States. Maximilian, thank you very much for joining us. Does the service in part, I mean, you want to make money, but in part it's designed to help people understand the electric driving experience, because for those of us who have done it, it does have a bit of a learning curve.
It definitely does, but once you've tried it, people tend to never switch back. And so we see a very, very strong adoption in our service, not only from combustion engine vehicles, but also specifically for EV cars, where people want to try out the technology without any of the risk.
I have 3 friends that actually just sold their EVs and went back, but that aside, they've all got unique circumstances.
Yeah, some would call those people the exception, not the norm. I haven't touched a gas pump in 4 years, people, and I don't look to rekindle the experience. Rental car, somebody else's vehicle, whatever. That's not my thing anymore. Sully's 3 friends, I mean, they obviously didn't have the ecosystem. I mean, we're headed to a sustainable energy economy. Got the solar panels on the roof, power walls in the garage. Effectively, you have a gas station in your garage. The performance of the vehicle is better. Routine maintenance is next to nil. What can I say? Some people just like the flavor of hot dogs. Me? I've upgraded to brats.
Here in the United States, I see a lot of gas, ICE-powered, internal combustion engine cars. Are you seeing an uptick in demand in the U.S. as well on the electric side, Maximilian?
Absolutely. We see that both in Europe and the US, even though in the US it's, of course, a more geographically dispersed environment where demand is significantly stronger in some states versus others. And it's also a big function of infrastructure, which still needs to be built out in the US.
Here we are on the Finn website. I mean, this could be an alternative to leasing. I mean, they take care of everything. But as far as my zip code goes, there's no Teslas here yet. Seems like one hell of an opportunity here in the United States.
How are you different than a lease?
So you can go online on fin.com, order in less than 5 minutes.
I'm there right now, looking.
Get your car delivered in a couple of days, and then everything, it's going to be delivered to your doorstep, and everything is taken care for you. So maintenance, insurance, registration, all of that is taken care by us, and you can focus on the driving.
Are there mileage limitations?
You can pick a mileage package that works for you, and we are flexible, and so typically everybody finds a mileage package that works for them. With a typical subscription, 750 miles are already included.
Okay. Now, of your EVs, you're a German company. You're very heavy in Germany. You're mostly on the East Coast of the United States. I imagine you've got growth ambitions here. Of the people that are picking the electric side, is Tesla still the overwhelming choice? Or are we finally starting to see the Audis of the world, the Fords of the world, the Volkswagens of the world finally start to make a dent?
So I would say there are 2 kinds of people. There are basically Tesla EV drivers and non-Tesla EV drivers. But we see the second portion of the second group to grow significantly, and see a lot of interest in Audi electric vehicles specifically, but also with Ford, with other brands. There is significant demand also for non-Tesla EVs.
It's amazing you say that, because I said about a year ago, not trying to take credit, I said there's 2 types of people. Nobody wants EVs, they want Teslas, because Teslas are really their own thing, right? They're not car people necessarily. All my buddies that own Teslas are more tech-forward people, but then there are car people that want the amenities. They want the rich leather and all the dials and the knobs. They want to feel like they're driving a, quote, traditional car, right, Maximilian? They're different things.
Those traditional car people are going to be just like traditional horse people. In a decade's time, you'll still be able to do that stuff, but the rest of the population will have moved on to something simpler, more functional, better performing. This is eerily familiar to when the horse got phased out.
100%. There's 2 kinds of people, and the Tesla people definitely also want the whole customer experience that is associated with the superchargers, with the infrastructure that has been built up. And so we see definitely a customer group that is quite loyal to Tesla.
You're damn right. In conclusion, according to an SEC filing, Elon Musk now has 20.5% stake in Tesla. Will TSLA continue to rise on the back of this news? And the Model 3 refresh, Highland, just received a price hike. I wonder why. Could it be that demand for it on the website has skyrocketed? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Renault CEO gives us some insight on the EV demand, especially when it comes to the European market. And Finn CEO sees an opportunity on battery electric vehicles. That's all I've got for you today. Be easy. Peace.